7 spiritual things I wish I knew when I was younger. And if I did know, maybe I wouldn't have needed to manifest through all that chaos and unnecessary challenges, and maybe I would manifest my way to a lot more abundance in my life much earlier. And I'm going to break it down for you in this video. But before we get into it, show reel. Hit it. Namaste everyone, Namo Himalaya. Welcome to this video, and in this video I'm going to be breaking down 7 spiritual things that I wish I knew when I was younger. Moving straight on to number 1. Ego. I wish I knew that there was such thing as our ego self and our higher self. That human ego side that we're always conflicting with. If I had known that, then I wouldn't have always been fighting. Non-stop fighting to be right. And I love it when Wayne Dyer talks about this. He says, whenever you have an opportunity to be right or to be kind, always choose to be kind. It's so much easier, because a lot of the time when we fight with ego and to prove our point, to prove that we're right, we think we win the fight when the other person shuts up or we convince the other person. But actually it's just the ego speaking. We have no need to convince anybody else, as long as we know who we are and what we're doing. That is the most important thing. Then moving on to point number 2 is patience. I wish I had patience when I was younger. It got me into so many fights, it got me so frustrated, it got me so upset, it got me so angry. I needed things to happen all the time very quickly. And when people, when I need to wait for things, I'm always thinking, why am I waiting for this? Da, 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 da. And I'll always get into this frustration. And that frustration would allow me to dive into negative vibrational frequencies. And being in negative vibrational frequencies, I didn't know that I was unconsciously manifesting negative things in my life because I was diving into the lower vibrational frequencies. So I learned that everything happens in divine timing. Point number 3. Detachment to outcome. I used to be so fixated on this must happen because I expect that to happen. And later on in my journey, I realized there was this saying that says, there is no such thing as disappointment if you never have expectation. You can only feel disappointment if you have expectations. So there were so many times I would feel disappointed. You know, there is this saying that says, man makes his plan and God has his plan for you. So sometimes, again, all in God's hands, all in universe hands. We do our best. We can prepare and even plan for an outcome, but we must be detached from the outcome and allow the universe to deliver in their miraculous ways. Moving on to point number 4 is self-love. I didn't know that was a thing. Like, not at all. There's a lot of the time where when I was growing up, I would actually look in the mirror and I would think, you're so ugly, right? Or you're so not confident. Or my parents would say sometimes, oh, you're stupid, or you know, you're not as smart as your cousins and all the rest of it. And I used to have that internal self-dialogue with saying that, you know, I'm stupid, I'm not clever, I'm not smart, and everyone else is smarter than me, or I'm not good looking, and all the rest of it. But I realized the importance of self-love. When we change the dialogue that we have with ourselves, telling yourself that I love you, me, and feel that love, and honoring your body, honoring your mind, honoring your spirit, when you start appreciating yourself, you and your life starts appreciating. Very important. Then moving on to point number 5 is the importance of wealth and abundance. When I was growing up, because I was lucky to have a hardworking mum and dad who would make money and provide for the family. So I used to grow up thinking that money is not important, right? Because money just came to me. It wasn't something I needed to fight for. And I think somewhere down the line you realize that, hey, wait there a second. Life requires money. Paying bills requires money. Eating requires money. Everything requires money. And more importantly, the greed of money is bad. But who says you have to have the greed of money? You just need to have the openness to welcome money, to be okay with money. Right? You can love money, just not greed of money. Don't be attached to the outcome. But when you start enjoying money, appreciating money, again, money appreciates in your life, and you start realizing that money is not good and not bad. I used to think money was bad, right? Because my dad would go to work every single day making money, and every time I don't get to see dad, I ask Mom, where's dad? And she would always say, he's making money. And I would think as a kid, he's choosing money over his son? He doesn't love me? So that created the separation, but it doesn't mean money is that. Because money is purely an amplifier of who you are. If you're a bad person and you suddenly have a lot of money, you probably do more bad things. If you're a good person at heart, you like to give, you like to help people, I believe if suddenly you got a lot of money, you'll help a lot more people. So money is purely a tool that can be an amplification of who you are. And I wish I knew that earlier, because then I would have focused on creating and generating more money, focus more on having more money so I can help more people. But at the same time, wealth and abundance is not just to do with money. Money and time freedom. Time is our greatest asset. So money is not the reason we want money. It's the outcome of it, to be able to achieve that freedom. Right? Then moving on to point number 6 is our environment. I remember when I was growing up and I started my first business, my business partner back then used to say, why you hang around with these guys? And they were my friends that I grew up with. We used to go partying, go drinking, right? A lot of wasting time, really, right? Trying to find some pleasure in getting drunk or something. And he used to say, why you hang around with these people? I said, why can't I hang around with these people? These are my friends. What do you mean, these people? And I didn't understand what his point was. But what he was saying to me, in his words, was, you're now a business owner. You're thriving in life. You shouldn't hang around with these people. And I felt offended by it because I was like, these are my friends you're talking about. I'm not going to put myself on a pedestal and not speak to these people. Right? I'm not better than these people. That's what I thought. But later on in life, I realized that your network is your net worth. And your tribe equals your vibe. Right? You get influenced, whether we like it or not, by the people around you. So, are they a positive tribe? Are they empowering? Are they supporting you to become the better version of you? I'm not saying the drunk version of you. I'm not saying the party version of you. I'm saying the better version, the empowering version of you. And if they're not, maybe it's time to realize that sometimes elevation requires separation. It doesn't mean you need to unfriend people. It just means your peer group, who you are hanging around with. Right? Spend more time with people who empower you, who love you, who support you. Then moving on to the 7th thing I wish I learned when I was younger. We are infinite beings. We're infinite. I used to put so many limiters on myself, based on my social conditioning, based on what my mom and dad said I could and couldn't do, based on what my uncles and aunties and my family or my friends say I could and couldn't do. There were so many limitations because we need to understand the human mind is programmed for protection. It can only tell you what you've been conditioned. But if we realize that we are one with the universe, we're infinite beings, we're part of this whole infinity, meaning that every biggest dream and imagination and anything you've ever had in your life is a part of you. It's destined for you. And you can achieve it as long as you put your mind to it, you put your focus to it, you put your action towards it. You can achieve anything you've ever desired and more in your life, the biggest dreams and goals and imagination that the wildest imagination you've had as a kid, imagine that could actually be your life if you really wanted to, if you focus your attention towards it. And that's why these days, I'm open. I always wake up in the morning and I say, universe, I'm open. Whatever downloads, imagination, dreams, goals you want to put into my dreams or my meditations, just bring it. And I'm going to step into my courage to accept that calling and make it actually manifest into physical reality, because I know that I'm possible. The word impossible. Guys, if you got anything out of these 7 points, or you can relate to any of the points too, please do hit the thumbs up, hit the like button. Allow this message to go out to more people. Don't worry where you're at right now. As they always say, every master was once a disaster. And that was my past too. But now we need to move forward in life. Please do let us know inside the comments below, what do you need to work on? What are you going to work on? What are you going to commit to move forward with your life? And finally, if you're new to this channel and you haven't already, remember to hit that subscribe button and the notifications button next to it. That's a little bell sign, by the way, because this year we're dedicated to making daily videos to hold you accountable to make it your best year yet. But for now, guys, I'm signing out. Namaste. Namo Himalaya.